In this video, I'm going to share 4 menopause diet mistakes you may be making that's making your symptoms worse. If you're new here, my name is Shirley and I'm a nutritional therapist with a 3-year diploma in nutritional therapy. And on this channel, I share videos to help you manage your menopause symptoms through your diet and lifestyle. So the first menopause diet mistake you may be making is you're eating a lot of high carbohydrate foods such as pasta, potatoes, bread, rice, or those similar foods. So it could be easy to think that by adding a few florets of broccoli or cauliflower into a bowl of pasta that you're eating healthy. Now, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. The reason it's not the healthiest option is because you may be having a large amount of pasta and only a handful of broccoli or a handful of vegetables within that pasta. And the reason that it's not the healthiest option is because as our estrogen, progesterone and testosterone levels drop when we enter perimenopause and into menopause and beyond, is that lower estrogen levels speeds up the rate in which we lose our muscle mass. And the less muscles we have, the less we're able to control our blood sugar levels. When you've got less muscles as it is, and then you're having lots of carbohydrate foods, your body is having to cope with lots more sugar in your system. And because our body can only handle around 5 grams or a teaspoon of sugar at a time, it releases the hormone insulin to bring your blood sugar levels back down to the normal levels, and it stores the excess sugar as fat. And that's because insulin is a fat storing hormone. And when you're constantly eating these types of foods, you're constantly releasing lots of sugar into your body, and your body is having to constantly release insulin in response. In the long term, our body will have to release a lot more insulin to cope with the constant barrage of sugar in our system. The downside of that is that it increases our risk for things like insulin resistance, diabetes, weight gain, and cardiovascular disease. So what can we do? Well, if you do like eating pastas and breads and rice and what have you, the best option is to eat the brown varieties. So brown rice, brown bread, brown pasta, and potatoes with skins on. The brown varieties have the fiber to give bulk to help you feel full for longer, and because of the fiber your body finds it a lot more difficult to digest, and that gives you a more sustained energy, which means less insulin spikes and less storage of fat. Eating this way may also be reducing the menopause symptoms that you get, such as brain fog, fatigue, sleepiness, irritability, and fluctuating moods. As insulin is released to bring your blood sugar levels back down, you may feel that as those menopause symptoms, and it may also be the reason that you're waking up in the middle of the night. When you're sleeping, your blood sugar levels may be dropping, and to keep your energy levels going through the night, your body releases cortisol, which is a stress hormone, just to release some energy. And because cortisol is a stress hormone, you probably wake up with your heart palpitations and feeling anxious and nervous, and that's why you may find it really hard to get back to sleep again if you do wake up in the middle of the night. Which brings us to menopause diet mistakes you may be making, and that is not having enough fiber in your diet. Nuts and seeds, green leafy vegetables, cruciferous vegetables, legumes, lentils, and all those types of vegetables have lots of fiber, which helps you to feel full for longer. And as we've mentioned already, those sugary slumps can make it feel like the brain fog, the irritability, the poor memory, the lack of sleep, which are very much like the common menopause symptoms that we all struggle with. And when HRT is not an option for you, it's even more important that we include these fiber-rich foods in our diet. The fiber in our diet feeds the beneficial bacteria in our gut, and in turn, these bacteria releases something called short-chain fatty acids. These short-chain fatty acids are now well known to support our health in terms of minimizing our risk for cardiovascular disease, diabetes, some cancers, reduces our risk for insulin resistance, and minimize our risk for blood pressure issues. Those beneficial bacteria and short-chain fatty acids also create B vitamins from the fiber in our food. So if you are feeling fatigue, not only is fiber-rich foods providing you with longer sustained energy, they're also feeding the bacteria to create the B vitamins that helps us to have more energy. Around 95% of serotonin is made in our gut, and serotonin is our happy hormone. It's well known now that individuals who are low in serotonin are more likely to experience low moods, depression, and those sorts of mood issues. And that's because the effect of serotonin in the brain is to help calm those neurotransmitters that cause us to overthink, or you're lying awake in the middle of the night and you just can't stop your thoughts going round and round in circles and creating scenarios in your head. So by adding lots of fiber-rich foods in your diet, what you're doing is supporting your beneficial bacteria to create that serotonin to calm all those other neurotransmitters that may be causing you to feel anxious and overthink. So if you're getting benefit from the information I've shared so far, I'd love you to hit that like button so that YouTube knows to share this video with other women who may benefit from the information I share here. And if you want to see more videos from me to help you manage your menopause symptoms through diet and lifestyle, consider subscribing and hitting the bell icon so you'll get notified when I've uploaded another video. The third menopause diet mistake you may be making is relying on low-fat or diet foods. I know a lot of these diet foods are sold as to help you reduce menopause weight by reducing your calorie intake. But unfortunately, a lot of these foods are processed, so they've got preservatives, added sugar, added salt, just to make it a lot nicer to eat. And just a fun factor, I looked up the ingredients of a chocolate mousse dessert from a certain diet organization, and even I was shocked at the amount of sugar that was in this dessert. Not only is sugar the second highest ingredient within this dessert, if you look at the other ingredients, the white and the chocolate curls and other bits of chocolate that's already within this chocolate dessert, those ingredients also have sugar in them. This is touted to be low calorie, helping you with your diet. This dessert has actually got lots of sugar in it to help make it taste nicer. So another issue with these low fat diet desserts or foods is that they may be using artificial sweeteners. Although artificial sweeteners do taste as sweet as sugar but has less calories, with the intention of supporting you take in less calories, they may actually be doing the opposite, because these artificial sugars or sugar alcohols changes the balance of your gut bacteria. Unfortunately, they change the balance to that actually helps you to put on weight. So in effect, although you are taking less calories, the change in the balance of your gut bacteria is making you put on weight instead of helping you to lose weight. But what can you do if you fancy something sweet after a meal, or you want something sweet as a snack? Here are healthier options for snacks that you can have in between your meals. Or if after a meal you do fancy a bit of chocolate, it may be better to have the dark, at least 70% chocolate variety. The advantage of having the dark chocolate is, one, you're getting the polyphenols from the chocolate, and two, you're having the reduced sugar and you're still getting that satisfying sugary taste in your mouth. The fourth menopause diet mistake that you may be making that's making your menopause symptoms worse is relying too much on processed foods. Now, even I eat processed foods, but it's not something I do often, or it's not something that I rely on as my main meals. And I know that it's not as easy as it sounds, because when you've got lack of sleep, you may still have children who relies on you, or other family members that rely on you. Plus you're going out to work, you've got busy schedules, you've got deadlines to meet, and you're just frustrated and want to get on with your day. It can be really easy to rely on those processed foods. But unfortunately, all those sort of foods are high in sugar, high in preservatives, high in salt. They've been cooked at really high temperatures to improve their shelf life. If you rely on those processed foods, what you're doing is encouraging a state of chronic inflammation in your body. Chronic inflammation is associated as the cause of a lot of diseases. When you're having these foods, you're creating this chronic inflammation within your body, and this also affects your brain, and especially the hypothalamus. And the hypothalamus is our chief conductor for balancing our hormones. And when you are having lots of processed foods, the effect of chronic inflammation or the effect on the hypothalamus may be one reason that's making your menopause symptoms worse. Chronic inflammation also affects our ovaries, and for some women, this may be one reason why they experience early menopause. So if you are in early perimenopause and you feel that your menopause symptoms are getting worse a lot quicker, it may be worth thinking about what you are eating and whether your diet is including a lot of processed foods that may be aging your ovaries a lot quicker, and thereby creating these hormonal imbalances that's triggering the effects on the hypothalamus and causing your menopause symptoms to get worse really quickly. So what can you do? Of course, the easy answer is to reduce your intake of processed foods. I do eat some processed foods, and I do relax my diet, especially at the weekends, and I'll also probably have some ready prepared meats at some points during the week for lunches. But what I do with that is I will add lots of salad or cruciferous or other green leafy vegetables on the side. I'm adding nutrients, fiber, vitamins and minerals from the vegetables that I have with it. So if you find that you do have a busy schedule and you have no choice but to rely on a ready prepared meal, add lots of vegetables and salad and other side dishes that provide you with the nutrients that you need. That way you can save yourself time and effort with being in the kitchen and getting on with other important things in life. If you'd like to see what essential foods I include in my menopause diet, check out this video with the eye icon, and I'll see you in the next video.